Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. Welcome to Oche Kitchen discussion. It's been a fruitful weekend so far. The weekend hasn't even ended. It's Saturday today, right?
No, it's Sunday. You have 30 minutes to go into Monday.
No, it's Saturday. Yes.
No, it's Sunday.
Wednesday.
Whatever.
Edna, what day it is?
Well, you could call it any day that you like, provided it's a weekend for you.
Good.
I'm genuinely confused, but let's not even go there now.
It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday. We've just started the weekend here, so we get into a deeper weekend now as we go with you.
Clearly, I started too early for myself, and I've lost the voice. Only God knows what's going to happen today. There's another party this night. Okay, welcome to today's topic. Today's topic is challenges for young boys, or life challenges. Last time we spoke about life challenges for girls. Before we start, I've got a little faith-based affirmation. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunities. Clear cut. So think about,
yes.
Yeah. So
I have to think about it, yeah.
Yeah, let's dive into the question of the day. The first question is, okay, when we talk about the boy child, I just chose to use the boy child, like we have the girl child. Is this female or the male we have in our families? There's this perception that they should be treated differently. Some people, that everybody clearly, physically, they're different from the female. Genetically, possibly, emotionally, possibly. So we need to find out all of that today and understand if really, are there any difference? Should they be dealt with as a different species from the female? So the first question today, which is born out of what is happening in so many relationships today, breakups, and you find out most of the time, the children stay with the women or their mothers. So some people think this and other people think the other way. So my question is, can a female lone parent, that's a woman, train a boy and get it right? Let me start asking the men, because before the woman will tell me, because everybody would have an opinion. Chris, do you want to tell us, please, what's your view on that?
Chris, you're mute.
Yeah, I said, hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, what is the question? Just because I was...
Can a female lone parent, that's a woman, train a boy and get it right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ike, what do you think?
Yeah, sure. It's the same thing as a male can bring up a female child. So, yeah, you can do it right.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any varied view on this? Edna, what do you think? Edna, you there?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah. Yeah, that is, it's a brilliant actually topic, because I'm a single parent of a boy who's just about to be a teenager. And I think, yeah, I'm doing a good job, and I think that can be done. I've seen it happen before. And yeah, I would agree 100%.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me put this caveat. Yes, a single parent can, that's a woman, the mother can raise a son, but you know, that male aspect is very important. Just like a single father can raise the daughter also, but that motherly touch is very important because he has to have a balance. Yeah. Can they do it? Oh, yes. But that male influence or female influence is always very, very important. So we don't have to, just ignore that. If it doesn't matter, it does.
Just a quick one, Chris. As I would agree with you, yeah, 100%, yes, it does matter. But if the other parent is absent in the child's life, how does the parent come in? Because the parent is not there. There's no relationship between them. There's only a mother who has a relationship. So how would that work?
No, I'm not going into, the absence. The absence is already established, but we'll have to stress in as much as we don't have it, but it's important. So when you have it, you get it. What I advise people is, I can be mad at you, I can hate you, if I may use that word, but don't do a disservice to either your son or your daughter by depriving them the opportunity of having either the father or the mother be in their life. You are doing them a great disservice. I don't care what my partner did to me, but for the interest of my child, I will give that my wife, or from the other side, my husband, the opportunity, because you are doing it for the children, not for the father or for the mother, because in the long run, they're going to be. So if you love that your daughter, your son, you have to allow them, unless the other person, vehemently refuse to be in their life. But just because you guys are quarreling or one thing or the other, you shut them out. It's a very great disservice to your children. You think you are punishing the guy. No, you are punishing your children, and it will come back to haunt you.
Thank you.
Again, really sorry. There is no quarrels, no nothing, but just the absence of the other parent. I'll give an example of whereby one person is absent, and then the other one could be a child's mother passed away, and that's on the opposite side anyway. And then the father is looking after the girl child. So there are those absences whereby there's nothing like any quarrels or anything like that. It's just the absence is there and it's 100%. There's no quarrel, everything is fine, but there's no other parent, only one parent is there.
That's where you can bring in your brothers or your uncles to, if they are around and available. That male influence or that female influence is always good. You are raising your son to know how to take care of the wife in the future. It might be your baby, but remember that he's going to be a grown man, and some other woman will be saying, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't help, he doesn't do this, he's of no help to me. So the upbringing does really matter. It does. If you raise that person well, it's going to translate into a good husband that we're all looking for. So sometimes we say this man is a deadbeat, he doesn't do anything. We didn't teach that person to do those things. He doesn't help at home. Some men doesn't know how to boil water, not because they are bad, but because they didn't teach them how to do that when they were growing up. So we think we were doing them good. In the present day society where you might be here, your son or your daughter might be living, especially your son might be living in Japan. You're not going to provide maid and all those house help. He's going to do it himself. So it might be him and his wife alone. So who is going to help when they have a new baby? So all those things are very important that you expose it. They translate into being the husband that we're all looking for today, or the wife that we want to have in our lives.
Okay. For the benefit of Edna and maybe one or two people, if I'm right, who do not understand Igbo, there's this thing we say, so I think, Edna, what that means is literally that a woman cannot train a child, a son, So I'm glad the man we have on the ground today has said that that's not entirely true. Benson, do you want to say add anything to that? Remember, is not there. Wapa, do you have any view to that? Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think a female can raise a male child and vice versa. In as much as kids learn visually, like you can tell a child not to do something, but so that is why it's the male figure is very important in the home, because he will learn how to treat a woman. If the father or the male figure in the house treats the mother very good, he will learn those things. He will learn certain things men do. He will learn, even if the man is not actively involved in training him, but kids visualize things. So yes, because if it's let's assume it's like a perfect family, Saturday morning, the man will go cut the grass, take out the garbage at night, and, take the mother on dates and stuff like that. It like Chris said, it's going to translate into what the boy will know and everything. So yes, a girl, I've seen so many single mothers, raise good sons, and they're very, very good and everything. So yeah, it depends. Yeah. Yeah, but I believe, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I can raise your hand.
Yeah, I also want to point out something. It's not as much as we've seen a lot of mothers raise good sons, but the US jails, most of the jails are full of young men who tell you that they didn't have their father in their lives. The US jail is full of especially black men who don't know, never had their dads in their lives. Maybe because their dads walked away or never in their life. So that is also a big challenge for the male. I thought what Chris is saying is totally right. We were brought up in so many ways. The truth of the matter is that both people, no matter what, I have my girls, but there's certain things I can't teach them. Only a woman can teach them. The same thing as I believe strongly, there's certain things a woman can't teach a man, a boy, sorry. You need a male figure. It doesn't have to be the ex or the father, but it has to be a male figure. I will teach that. Okay.
Yeah.
If I may, before you go on, Mama, about the jail thing Ike mentioned, these kids are in jail because there are no parents at home, whether man or woman. Because most times they live, most of these kids live in what they call public housing, and their mothers are working 2-3 jobs, they're not home. So they don't even know if these kids go to school or not. You know what I mean? So if you're always there for your kids, if they don't go to school, you know. When the school calls, you answer. When the school sends mails, you see. So most of these parents, and I'm not blaming the parents because they have to do 2-3 jobs to, make, help pay bills or whatever. Even when there are 2-parent homes, when you see kids who live in those neighborhoods, kids are doing their homework and stuff like that. So you see kids from those neighborhoods. So those kids who are from that neighborhood, and these are the stories they tell. They hang around, they make quick buck. You know what I mean? Somebody will say, give you 2 packs and you sell them $20. At the end of the day, you sell maybe 10 back, they give you 10% of it. That's quick money for a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy. So having parents doesn't mean you're involved. You still have to be involved in your kids' life for them not to go to jail. Not that you can still do everything and they end up in jail, but most times those parents are absent because they're busy working, which I don't blame them. They have to pay their bills.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. In the absence of any other contribution to that, Pamela, did you want to add something? Oche. Okay.
No, I really don't have anything much to add.
Your skin is just glowing, Oche.
I tell you.
I think you're eating these fruits. Okay, anyway, let me stop up.
Okay, IJ.
All right, before I go over to my question, if you want your skin to glow like Oche's skin, you have to be eating these fruits. These fruits are full of water. They will hydrate your skin, make your skin Oche, can you come on? Can you say something so we see you? Okay, you have to, apples have 84% water. So eating apples are very, very good. Strawberries have 90% water.
We're writing it down, sorry.
Watermelon have 92% water. Lettuce, the iceberg one, has 96% water. Oranges, 87% water. Spinach, 96% water. Celery, 95% water. Grapefruit, 91% water. Tomato, 93% water. Cucumber, 96% water. So I know cucumber does, multiple things for us women. You know what I mean? It glows your skin. It acts as your VOB, so please, if you want your skin to glow, these are the fruits you have to eat. So my question is the feeling of entitlement in boys inborn from birth by training? When we mean entitlement, mostly in I'll say the African community, the boys believe they have to just pay the bills, and the girls will cook, so they don't want to do this, they don't want to do this. They believe you can't talk to them in a certain way. They believe because I'm the man, you can't do this.
I'm a boy.
So, so the ladies, I'm going to put you on the back burner now. I'm going to ask the guys, Ike, what do you think? You think boys have like the entitlement inborn in them, like they grew up like that? Ike Abasi, are you there?
Video is off. I don't know.
Is Benson there?
What was the question?
Chris.
What was
Okay.
the question?
Ike, are you back?
Yeah.
The question is the feeling of entitlement in boys inborn or by training?
Okay.
You know how guys feel entitled about everything.
Entitlement in boys, is it inborn? I don't think it's inborn. But
by training, yeah.
Well, it could be as a result of environment. It could be as a result of environmental. In Africa, for example, you know how much emphasis is paid on the male child. Yes. So the male child will get away with most things. Like when you're growing up, if I was to go out to a party at night, my dad might be angry, but he won't be as angry as if my sister has sneaked out to go to the party.
Yes.
So it's all the environment, right? It's not like it's inborn. It's just environmental things.
Training.
Yeah.
And the train, well, when you say training, remember that because the environment is patriarchal, it's more from the male-dominated environment. So you have that kind of, so yes, you've been trained from when you were small. Like, for example, we're told boys don't cry. Okay, so even when you feel the urge to cry, if you cry, you are taken as a weakling. So you see, all those things are things that we're trained, and maybe they're sharing our food. Most times the guys will get the bigger portion, and all that. So it's more of training, but not entitlement. It's not inborn. It's more of training and environment. That's what I would say.
It makes them entitled. They feel entitled. Thank you. Chibuzo Paul, are you there? Can you talk? Chibuzo Paul.
Yes. Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Hi. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I came in late.
That's okay. No, you came on time. That's fine.
Okay.
Feel better. Do you? I think, is the feeling of?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted to.
Go ahead with the question.
Okay, the question is the feeling of entitlement in boys inborn or by training? Do you think they were trained like that, or they were born feeling like that?
I don't think it's inborn. It's not inborn. It has to do with training.
Can you give an example?
Most parents have systems or procedures by which they prefer to train their kids. Most parents prefer the male child to just relax. Most parents prefer the female child to always be in the kitchen with them and the rest of them. Most people prefer both to do whatever the female child is doing. The male child has to also do same. Understand? But for me, I prefer both. I prefer whatever kind of training you give the female child, you should give same to the male child. That is why you see I have some friends who prefer to cook. They don't even allow their wife cook. And like I have a friend of mine in my estate who likes cooking on a Sunday. And that thing is not inborn. It has to do with training.
Yeah.
Possibly the parents have been training him on that, maybe probably when the mom goes to the kitchen on Sunday, he follows the mom to the kitchen and see those things. So he always wants to cook for the wife on the Sunday. So those things are not inborn. They are methods the parents use in training those child. But I prefer that whatever type of training you are giving to the male, you should also give same to the female, because what I like it also helps both sex understand that this various training. It also helps the man to coexist, and it also helps the male child to appreciate the female child more.
Exactly.
Because I think we're in a society where a lot of us men, we don't really appreciate the women that much. Understand? When we do the things women do. Let me give you an example. Sorry, just in 30 seconds. Let me give you an example in 30 seconds. I used to work. I have companies I manage, so I'm always out. So there was a day my wife went out and told me to stay with the kids. I stayed with the kids for 10 minutes. 10 minutes felt like the day should just come and go. From that day, as small as my kids are, 3 years, 1 year, I didn't rest for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes. So imagine a woman that takes care of those kids.
They don't sell that in their restaurant. Kids don't sell.
I'm telling you. So you see that once the term training is given to both sex, it makes the male child appreciate the female, and it also makes the female appreciate the male more. So I believe it should be given to both, not just, and it's not inborn, it's a training thing.
Yeah.
The entitlement thing.
Thank you.
I can hear them. I can hear your chairman.
Exactly. I'm telling you. Kaima, I'm on a meeting. Kaima, I'm having a meeting, please. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you so much. Chris, can you say something? Is the feeling of entitlement in boys by training or inborn?
It depends on what kind of entitlement. If you said because they are man, they are born that way. But by training, like he just said, you can teach a man how to be useful in the kitchen. You can see that these days it's translating into husband materials.
Exactly.
I remember while we were growing up, some ajabotas or some kids are not allowed in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They see you in the kitchen, they will frown. What are you doing there? They will chase you away.
Yes.
And they ended up not knowing how to do anything. We'll see how it's been going, like I said earlier. That's why when you are thrown into a situation where it's just you and your wife, there's no mother-in-law, there's no mother, there's no help anywhere. You find out that the man doesn't know how to do anything, how to help out. It's not because he doesn't want to, but he wasn't raised that way. But these days, most parents are catching up, teaching the men or the boys how to be helpful, do things that otherwise they wouldn't have done if they weren't raised that way. So it could be partly environment, but some of them are born that way, that men, should act a certain way. Men or boys don't cry, but hey, I cry more than the women these days. Not a sign of weakness, but
bear with me also.
I'm just an emotional person,
Yes.
But
exactly.
It's good to cry. It eases up so much tension. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Perfectly.
Yeah. I know. So for me, I don't like crying in front of anyone who is hurting me. But I'll go outside, I'll call somebody on the phone, I'll cry, or just go outside and cry. But but crying is good. Yeah.
I don't cry because somebody is hurting me also. Seeing injustice, seeing people suffering, those can tear me down, not because somebody broke my heart or all those rubbish. No, I don't cry for that.
Example of
because
me
now
crying.
that they make us cry now, you guys are the ones making us cry.
I don't cry for that. I cry
example of me crying when this old Snatchy died. I was listening to a song she sang with Pastor Paul Oche, this Nare Kele, and I was listening to it. I started crying because I felt that pain inside of me. That
I think the chairman in the house don't press something. All right. Laval.
Okay.
Laval. Benben, I'll come to you.
Benson, are you here? Good morning.
Yeah, Benben not here. But when
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Laval, I know you have like a 24-year, I think your son is older than mine. So your son should be 24 and your daughter should be 15 or 14, right? You have a 24-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter, right?
Yeah.
How did you raise them? Did you raise them differently or did you?
Yeah, I'm in a noisy place. I'm trying to hear out what you people are talking about.
Okay, we're talking about challenges for the male child. So we're saying that most times male boys are not allowed in the kitchen. They are being entitled. They don't teach them how to clean, sweep, and do stuff like that. And the girls are made to do that. So we're concentrating on boys today. But I know you have a teenage daughter and an adult son. So I wanted to know if you had if you raised them the same way or the boy was entitled.
Actually, I did. I call it a mistake. It's very important to allow the boys to do whatever the girls do, like kind of teach them how to do all those things. They're all equal. It's very important, but I'm just realizing it late because I made that mistake too. Because my son couldn't cook. Now he's not in country, could not even cook. In fact, very, very bad. That was when he tried to make ordinary stew, he will be calling me, what will I put next? I said, when I'm calling
at least he's calling you. At least he's interested in cooking, which is good.
Yeah, but when he was there, I was telling him, come, let me teach you how to do this. He said, no. If be lazy, I can. Does boys cook? I said, you have to learn how to cook. It's for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
But they won't understand. But I think that it's for women work or job to do. Now it's feeling bad that I didn't know how to do all those things. That you even blame me that not teach him. I said, don't blame me because I tried to, but you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's very important you let them know. Very, very important. Even to sweep, clean, very, very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, DJ, let me add some. Love, and there's something we said earlier on when we're answering the first question, where they'll talk about mirroring what the men do, like what their fathers do. Did she ever cook? Did your husband cook? Is this
where
the kitchen?
I'm a victim that when I got married to him, you were like telling me that I used to cook. After, you know, some men, they are too lazy. When you are there, they won't want to do anything. They'll be like, even that one, is what left in that house for me to bath him. Because everything he will tell you, babe, and my singlet, my stockings, everything you will do it for him. So bad. Bad.
That's mostly Nigerian man.
Don't worry, we'll blame his mom. We're not blaming him.
Because even in the house we live, he doesn't know where my knife is in the kitchen.
All right. Thank you.
Very bad.
All right, thank you, Lambi.
Thank you.
Betsy W, you raised your hand. Betsy, are you there?
Yeah, hello everybody.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Well, I just want to add, I'm actually, I won't say I'm at fault, but you can't have everything. You can't teach your children everything. But the most important thing I believe you need to teach your children is mannerism, to be caring, to be kind, not to be bad and everything. The two things I'm always watching that I think I've done wrong is that I didn't teach them my language and I didn't teach them how to cook. Which is
how old are your kids? How old are your kids?
Well, my daughter is 29 and my son is 26.
Oh wow!
So it's not
if that's your picture, you look absolutely good.
I should be. So it's not that I put them to one side or probably I didn't really, because number one, I don't like cooking. I don't enjoy cooking. So I think I'm to blame with that one. But one thing I can tell you, when my son decided to go to China in his university, he learned how to cook by himself. He said he just picked out the YouTube and he was reading, and before you know it, he was able to cook. Now, both of them cook, even though not my African food, which I wish they could have been doing, but they now cook by themselves. And everybody, because they are working now, so they do Monday to Friday, like a pack thing. So they just take it out from the fridge and they warm it up. So in a way, I won't condemn anybody who, well, probably because I don't enjoy cooking. That doesn't mean I don't know how to cook. It's a two different thing. So sometimes it's not always just have to be the ladies who have to teach them or the male. Sometimes it's something that they can pick up and learn in a month or two. But there's some things that you can't teach your child right now, which is a bit too late.
Yeah.
So in a way, I think cooking should be like, if you want to cook, you shouldn't like say it's a guy thing or it's a woman thing. If the both of them get married and they're living on their own, they'll have no choice. They have to learn to cook something, or do concussion or whatever. So I don't think it's right for us to say that it's because he's a woman or it's because it's a boy, whatever. Everybody should be able to cook if they want to cook.
Thank you.
My
So
kids, my
that's
kids
my own
cook. My
opinion.
kids cook, except my first son is in a wheelchair. My kitchen is not wheelchair accessible. But what I did was 3 months, because he's 22 now. So 3 months ago he gets money. So 3 months ago I had him buy an air fryer because all he eats is meat. He loves meat. He loves steaks, chicken, and he can eat meat and no starch and everything. So what I did was buy air fryer. So I've been teaching him how to, marinate meat, and because the other two, the younger ones can do, they can do anything they want to do. So yeah. So at least because I know he will survive on meat and everything. So the air fryer helps him. It's not going to burn him like that. So it's easy for him. So me and him have been doing that. So except last weekend I traveled, and then this weekend I'm not home. But yeah. It's good.
And
my kids, since they were 10, 11 years, they've been doing chores because I don't want to get out of bed. So I have them, they clean. Everybody takes a floor and they clean. So they cook too. All right. Let me ask one more lady before I hand over to Oche. Zuchis, are you there?
She's gone into work, I guess.
Oh, she's going to work?
Yeah, I don't know if she's free to talk. Yeah.
All right, Ben, are you there? Can you talk? I know you're busy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Is the feeling of entitlement in boys inborn or by training? And can you give an example?
What the truth is, I think I agree with what every other person have said. It's never inborn. It's training. Like for me, I know that I was brought into the kitchen on an early stage, so that most times I even tell women, come out, I want to compete with you cooking because I cook.
I believe that.
I cook.
Because you always make okra soup.
It's not only okra soup I make any kind of soup.
Yeah.
I make any kind of soup. So it's not
true.
an inborn.
Soup.
Yeah,
but I made the egusi soup, but I had to put it in the freezer, but I didn't have the address to send it to. I did.
Benson, I'm going to challenge you to a cooking contest.
Oh,
I'll be the judge. Oh,
I will join the
wait. I am yes. When it comes to that, when it comes to cooking or doing anything, I am not afraid.
Ben Chris is always posting.
That's no problem.
Chris is always posting a la carte.
Well, he's posting.
Not trying to derail the topic, but one of the things that my wife have problem with is I know the kitchen more than her.
I have the same issue.
It's the other way around, asking me to leave the kitchen. Meanwhile, some women are, trying to lure their men into the kitchen. So I know my kitchen more than,
I do.
It's from upbringing anyway, so I can go to market.
Chris, it's upbringing. I ran a restaurant. When we were living in Kwara. Even if my mother is not in or went to the east to pick certain things, I cook in the restaurant and you will never know that my mother is not around.
Oh, wow.
My wife went to Nigeria last year for 3 months. Was my son. We didn't buy food from outside for one moment at all. So we were cooking.
Benson,
My son knows how to cook.
Something.
Yeah, so
something.
It helps in this modern day world. It helps.
Yeah,
if you
it
can do
does.
those things because
I agree. It helps. It helps.
So
so much.
Oche and Ifoma, we're going to set up Oche Kitchen's kitchen battle for men or whatever we're going to call it.
Yes. But I don't know how we are going.
I want to point out something there. Benson,
You do it on Zoom.
Not just training. It's not just training. I personally learned how to cook when I was in youth service.
Oh wow! I learned late. Yeah.
Yours was at an old age. I myself, I started small.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not about how long. It's how well.
It doesn't matter how long or how short.
How well.
Like
I started cooking very late. I hated chores. Yeah.
It was actually my uncle that taught me how to cook. Every man in my house knows how to cook.
Yeah, I make sure my son knows
my uncle that taught me how to cook.
He knows how to cook.
So we have three competitors. Ike from Canada.
You have that cooking show.
Chris from Maryland. So the show's name is going to be Men in the Kitchen Challenge. We'll see. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. Oche, take it away.
Okay, so before I ask my question, I'll just give you the serial moments for today. It's a relationship tip. Find someone who still knows how to talk to you when they are angry. Someone who respects you in all mental states. Okay, that is self-explanatory. I'm not
because
going to
Oche is always in a fragile mental state, so we have to learn how to not shout.
So
especially me, because me and my loud voice will be like, Oche.
That makes so much sense. Now, when you make
that's a good one.
I spoke to you that way because I was upset. No.
Let the person remember in whatever mental state he's in.
Yeah. Can you read it again one more time? I'm writing it down, please.
Okay.
It won't make any meaning.
Okay, find someone who still knows how to talk to you when they are angry. Someone who respects you in all mental states.
Okay, thank you very much.
Even when they are drunk.
Yeah. So my question is, how does the society you live in shape the boy's life? Okay, so I'm going to ask Julie. Julie Shegwarinze, can you take that question for me, please? I don't know if Julie is with us in spirit or she's here.
No, she's here. Yeah, she's here.
I'm here. Sorry, I got in late because I came in from work.
Oh, thank you for still indulging us despite how tired you might be.
No. Yes, that's why
that's love.
Okay, so I live in Nigeria, and I think a lot of parents in Nigeria tend to focus more on the girls. They train the girls to be, like
superwoman.
Exactly. But the boys are practically left to watch TVs and play games and all that. But I'm doing mine a bit differently because I watched my father not know how to make eba. My father could not cook. He was not domesticated at all. And he had a lot of negative, what I saw it impact him negatively in a lot of ways. Yeah. So because of it, I'm intentional about teaching the boys to do as much as my daughter does. So they share chores, they do things around the house.
Yes.
And all that. So yes, in Nigeria, a lot of parents, you see them push the girls to do things, but not the boys.
Thank you.
So you are saying that in the society you live in, the boys have been shaped in such a way that they don't want to do anything.
Exactly. The first time I started teaching my son, he will say, "Oh, but mommy, it's enough for girls to sweep." Seriously. And when I noticed that, I made sure he was doing most of the things around the house. And now they don't even complain. They do as much as their sisters. They clean the house, the mop, and do everything. So when parents start that way, it becomes difficult when the boy has grown to force him to do things. He leaves it's a woman's job to do those things.
Which is a very warped thinking.
Yeah. And let me piggyback. They might be lazy when they are like in high school, but when they like and two people said their kids, okay, I think Lanval and Edna said their kids are now living outside wherever they are. Now they are forced to take care of themselves. They're learning to cook. Yeah. Like me, I hated chores growing up, hated it. But I came to America, nobody to do anything for me. So I had to, so those things I learned that I hated to do, helped me. Yeah. So it does.
Okay. So Mama, thank you, Julie. Mama, can you take that question for me, please? You live in the UK. Yes. So tell me, how has society shaped the boys?
Yeah. I think moving the direction a bit, the society where we live in, being Black children has really, really affected, has made the boys always apprehensive. They're always, and I find that in my work, because I find a lot of young people who have been involved in gang and all sorts. And that is because they lost self-confidence and self-esteem. They think that is the only way they need to go to get that. So it's quite difficult with in relation to discrimination, the ones that are direct and indirect discrimination. So that is an effect it has in boys. And this goes along the lines of what Ike said earlier about the statistics of people in prison and behavior. So the society, the UK as a place with a multicultural setting has really affected the lives of young boys.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Thank you. Pam Uwakwe, are you there?
Pam is always in the kitchen cooking. I'm sure she's cooking.
Okay. So if Pam can't take the question for me, I have a take in all this because we have all talked about how these boys should be raised and how some people in our own era were raised, okay? And everybody has talked about, at the end of the day, the boy should at least be useful to himself. But what bothers me is, if these boys are not properly trained, their marriages are in trouble.
Exactly.
You see someone saying to the wife, my mom would always make fresh food. Meanwhile, you didn't learn how to make fresh food. You want to eat freshly made banga soup. When your mom was making it, where were you? Okay, so for me, it's not even just about let them be okay by themselves. Let them not come and give me headache. Because if the boy is properly brought up, I mean, it's not every woman that can cook. Like someone said here that she doesn't like cooking, doesn't mean that she can't cook, okay? But there are people who don't like to cook and they end up learning how to cook from their husbands. So why can't we train our boys to be like that? Because I can't imagine someone judging me based on the pedestal he has put his mom, who, by the way, is somebody's wife. Your mom may have enjoyed cooking every day of her life, but I would not enjoy it. Me, I'm a baby girl. So if I'm used to cooking...
Welcome to my world.
So what are you? Bobo girl.
If I'm my semi girl.
Again, a milk girl.
Semi girl.
Oh,
no, semi girl. Yeah.
Let me shut up before I walk down, because if you forget like semi
Oche, not to cut you short, what you said, what you just said, keyed into our initial discussion about, do you need both parents to raise a boy? So that influence of maybe the mother or the father, the mother should have been there. The mother should have done the right thing and set him straight. So that now is translating, him coming to say, my mom always make this, fresh,
but on a very serious note, his mom being there will not translate to him learning if the woman does not try to train him. And the painful part is, these people that act this way have both parents. Because if his mom wasn't serving his dad fresh meals every day, he might not even know that the mom can cook every day. And this woman may have been enjoying it. That's for her. If she feels that, oh, this is how she wants to treat her Lord and Master, I don't have any problem with that. Okay. But at the same time, because your son
Oche is on fire.
No, it's nothing.
If I saw your face, I didn't want to say anything. I saw your face. I'm like, okay, let me talk.
No, I'm very passionate about bringing up the boy child because I have two. Okay.
And putting communication in your conversation too. You know.
Yeah, because I have always felt that I don't want to bring up somebody who would not just be a nuisance to the society, but a nuisance to himself. Okay. So all these things, I think about them all the time. And I say to myself, if I'm not going to take this, why would I want my daughter-in-law to feel this way? Because some would come in and conform, but it doesn't mean they're happy doing it.
Yes.
Even all those ones that our mothers and grandmothers did, if you raise them up from the dead now, many of them will tell you, if I was in your era.
Yes, sir.
But because they were compelled to.
Yes.
So
and they were judged, yeah.
Yeah. So this comparison that, my mom did it this way, it causes a lot of trouble. And before you know it, these people are having issues over what? I ate a busy yesterday, I want to eat okra today. Meanwhile, you can't even dice the okra for me. So if a child is brought up in such a way that he knows that, yes, if you want this, you can, there's a way you'd even if you don't cook, there's a way you would support your wife by being in the kitchen with her, gisting with her, and she wouldn't even remember that she's doing this for you. Because if there's somebody who, thank you. You see why I talk about Benson all the time.
Uncle Paul is here, Oje.
So, okay.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, Uncle.
Good evening.
Hello, Uncle. Good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Good evening. No. Longest time.
I know. You're looking good, though. You look good.
I've been unwell, you know.
We know, yeah.
It's well with you.
Amen.
Well, we thank God. We thank God.
Yeah.
God says it's not my time to come back home.
No. It was only on the appointed time.
Yes. Nothing happens before its time.
So back to what I was saying, sometimes parents.
I've been listening to the conversation. Yes, it's very interesting there. It's very interesting.
Thank you, Uncle.
Yes. I personally, I was brought up in a family where whether you are a boy or a girl, it doesn't matter. You have to go through. I mean, you have to do. To go to the kitchen to do everything, just as my sisters, Yeah. So that helped a lot in that when you grow up, you begin to see the advantage of the training,
Yeah.
It's really great. It's really great.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Daddy.
Yes.
Okay, so to round off.
So I advise every parent not to discriminate or to say, oh, you are a boy, you won't come to the kitchen, you're a girl, you must always help your mommy. Every child should have the opportunity to help out, because you learn and you don't know what will befall you in future, And so,
your wife might be angry. I said I ain't cooking.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that is true.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Yeah. So sometimes parents, in an effort to adequately care for their children, unknowingly contribute to their marital stress. Because this is consequences of misguided affection from parents. The children now suffer the consequences. And as far as I'm concerned, the boy child should be raised in such a way that he would not just think about providing money for his family. He should be taught how to serve as well. You provide, you serve, and life goes on.
And that's one thing they don't do. The serve part, they don't do. Yeah.
At least one thing I want to add, even if they don't, they should actually appreciate the way the lady's cooking, because they don't know how long the lady has slaved in the kitchen, and just one comment can just destroy all you've been doing in the kitchen. So we also teach our boys and to be able to appreciate women, and always remember that they go out of their way to do so many things.
Betty,
but just one word will help.
Betty, wait, don't go too fast. That's the last question we have. So, because I'll expect people to take notes at the back of this last question. So the last question now is, if you have anything to say about it, you could just indicate by raising your hand and tell us, because what we collect, the information we'll collect from that question would help all of us and our viewers as well. So anyone who could start, can you tell us 2 things that you think is very important for boys to know while they're growing up?
Let me start. How to talk to women. That's what I was trying to tell Oche when Oche started talking about it translates how they treat their wives and everything. Yeah, communication is a big deal, because most guys are like, they believe that they can say anything to women and women can't talk back to them. You know what I mean? They can. So, and whenever a woman says something they don't like, they term it as disrespect or something. So communication is apart from cooking is fine, but learning how to communicate, to talk to somebody and have them listen to you, and you listen when she talks back, is very, very important, because that's what sets the relationship, the communication. Yeah, so communication is one, and secondly, how to treat a baby girl. So because baby girl, when you marry a girl or when you're with a girl, it's not as if coming back, you bam bam and then eat. You guys have to learn to go out and date each other while you're in a relationship and everything, which will make both of you feel young, both of you feel wanted, because at the end of the day, both of you will really be there to chiki bam bam. You understand what I mean? Yeah.
So Betty, you can chip in now. You were giving some tips.
Yes, like what I said is that we have to appreciate, because we women, we work very hard. You come back from work, look after the children, and then you now manage to just cook. And just probably there's not so much salt inside. And that comment will just kick you off like, wow, do you know how long I've been in that kitchen? So we need to teach our boys to appreciate the ladies. It's like, even if the food is burnt or is not well done, just say, well, thank you very much for taking your time out to cook for me. So I try to teach my boy how to appreciate. You shouldn't take things for granted, because especially in UK, how we all know how hard work it is, how hard it is to work hard. So when somebody does go out of their ways to present any food to you, even if it's not what you really want, the fact that you have something on that table should show that. Because I felt like that if I cook, as someone who doesn't even enjoy cooking, so if I do cook, I really want someone
should appreciate me. Appreciate baby girl.
That's why that was the first thing on my point.
Betsy, did you remember to tell him the level of types of appreciation? The African appreciation wants present to show appreciation.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that.
Well done, no, you done well.
No. My kind of appreciation is at least you managed to cook for me. Just to say thank you. I appreciate it. And I know this might sound so odd. Please take your plate to the kitchen. You don't have to come and wait for me to come and take the plate. That's appreciation for me to me. So it's like you say thank you very much. I really appreciate your time for cooking for me. And once in a while, as one other guy said, you can help in the kitchen, even if they're just chatting, talking. Just don't let her be on her own in the kitchen in the heated heat. And you're coming and you're saying, no. The person won't listen to you, because he's working very hard, trying to put the food on the table to cook for you, to do everything. Just one word says it. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate you cooking for me. And if you now want to go so far as now buy a gift or take her for dinner, don't have to cook for me today. Just make a phone call, say that, you know what, I don't want you cooking for me today. Let's go out and eat. That's also another appreciation. So it's like he appreciates you for what you are doing. But some men, they just come in, eat, and get out. Not even, oh, it's nice, I enjoyed it, or this and that. They will bring out the bad thing out of that cooking. And these are the things that doesn't let the women want to cook, because, oh, the last time you cooked for me, there was not enough salt. Or the last time you cooked for me, you have to do the, oh, just appreciate. When you appreciate it, the next time she's going to cook, she remember your appreciation and she'll do much better. So that's just my own opinion. And I try to teach my son that, like, always appreciate, not even just in cooking, in everything.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Thank you. Chris, you've got your hands up, please.
Yes. All of you have spoken well, but I came in today prepared to learn some of the life challenges for young boys. But apparently all the discussion centered around raising a boy child. I'm here to hear the challenges that they face, which was supposed to be thin, because for me, you know, I have only one son, and he is becoming of age. So I don't know how to handle that aspect of the challenges, you know, like IJ alluded in the chat when he sent the topic, you know, I was expecting to hear something, but what we're discussing today is totally different from, maybe we'll do another round to present the challenges, because let's remember that these boys will grow into men, and these boys are struggling, and they are our boys. They are mama's babies. Anyhow, we'll spin it, anyhow, we'll look at it.
Yeah.
You know, so when we are, you know, talking about them, we should, you know, show some, you know, be gentle, realizing that they are our boys too. We're looking at them as husband, all these husbands, all these men that are doing, they are somebody's babies at some point. So what are the challenges that we, you know, the parents that are happening into that stage to learn, like Betsy, who has grown-up boys, how did you handle them when they are becoming teenagers? I was expecting to hear the challenges they face and how
You're right,
handle
Chris.
so that I can
100%
translate
right.
it into my cooking, doing this. And some people said, talking to women with respect, we're not raising them to be husbands.
Yeah.
Let them be good people in the society. Like here, I'm more worried how my son handled himself when he's stopped by the police. How do I handle that? So we have to raise them to be good people, both to everybody, not just necessarily to their baby girls or to, you know, once you do that, it will translate into their baby girls or whatever. I know women have frowned at some of the comments when they said, we are raising women as if the only objective is to get married. And all we are saying here is as if the only objective for the boys is to get married. What are the challenges in society? How do we teach them to be a man?
Yes.
How do we teach them to survive? Because they have to survive, not necessarily in the kitchen. They go out there and they hunt and they come back. So how do we position them, you know, to face those challenges outside? So that's one of the things, maybe in the part B of this topic today, we should delve into that and stay on that. Because we have to equip them.
And Chris, as if
hello there. I would say that should be a topic for another day. It's because there's a lot to say in
that. Was the topic for today, sir. But
so the topic and the questions, Chris, I understand 100% where you're coming from. The topic for today with the questions would have been raising boys or something like that. It wouldn't have been because challenges, like you said, are like how they can navigate the world, the drugs, the girls, and you know,
we're talking about
those are challenges. So we apologize. Apologies.
I think we are talking about them being useful in the house.
That's raising boys. It's different from
raising
challenges.
Boys, exactly.
Them learning how to cook is not a challenge.
But the topic our friend is bringing up seems to me to be a different thing entirely. That's why I
I thought it was going to be this because that thing is giving me concern. Seriously, you know,
Yeah.
when
Right,
you have,
right,
We can talk
right.
about it, over time. We can talk about it over time.
yeah. I
So
believe
if you're going to end the show, then we're going to overtime and do
I
the
always
actual
hear from the
challenges here.
experience.
Yeah, and before I end the show,
It's
in
fair.
line with what Chris was saying, I had that in mind. My own two things I think that's very important for boys is knowing that there is dignity in labor, and again, knowing their self-worth. Because it's quite concerning when we talked about this topic, the challenges, yes. And although I can argue it that everything we've talked about would still fall in line with challenges they will face in life. But again, it's very important for them to know, because that was why we had that question, how does the society you live in shape their boys' lives? And that is all of these things we're talking about, the things they face and the things that they come across, and how that goes about, how they manage it. Okay, we can continue in the overtime, and I'll be absent because I'm rushing to another party. Thank you everyone for being a part of today's show. Like with unpopular demand, we'll have something again to talk about in relation to this topic about these challenges. It's very important. The essence of coming together is to learn and have tips on how to manage our children, our lives, and everything around us. Thank you very much. We're going over time, and please join us same time next week. Love you all.
Thank you. Love you.